Most people wake up every morning and let the world happen to them. But successful people, they happen to the world. The difference, it's what they say to themselves before the world gets a chance to speak. The words you plant in the morning grow into the fruits of your entire day, and eventually your life. So let me ask you, what are you telling yourself when you rise? Here's what you must say every morning. Say it loud, say it with belief. I am responsible for my life. Today, I choose growth. Today, I choose discipline. Today, I choose gratitude. I don't wait for motivation. I create it. I don't fear obstacles. I face them. I'm not who I was yesterday. I'm better. And I will become more tomorrow because I refuse to settle for less than I can become. Say this with intention, not just with your mouth, but with your spirit, because repetition isn't enough. Conviction makes the difference. Speak like your future depends on it, because it does. Jim Rohn once said, "Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day." This morning ritual, it's one of them. Every word you speak creates momentum. Say the wrong things and you spiral downward. Say the right things and you climb. So start your day not with scrolling, but with strength, not with fear, but with faith, not with reaction, but with purpose. Because the greatest gift you can give yourself each morning is a declaration of who you choose to become. And if you say it long enough, loud enough, and live it strong enough, your life will never be the same. So tomorrow morning, don't just get up. Rise. Most people underestimate the power of the first few moments after they wake up. They reach for their phone, scroll through social media, check the news, or read messages filled with distractions and negativity. What they don't realize is that the beginning of your day is like wet cement. Whatever impressions you make early on will solidify and carry with you throughout the day. The mind, freshly awakened, is in its most receptive state. It's listening, absorbing, and believing. And that's why what you say in the morning matters more than most people think. You can either feed your mind with doubt, fear, and confusion, or you can feed it with clarity, strength, and intention. The first words you speak have a direct impact on your mood, your focus, and even your decisions. When you begin with empowering thoughts, you prime yourself to handle challenges with confidence. You approach problems not with panic, but with purpose. You make better choices, you respond instead of reacting, and most importantly, you set the tone, not just for your day, but for the life you're building, one sunrise at a time. Jim Rohn taught that success is found in the small disciplines practiced daily. Saying the right things to yourself each morning is one of those quiet disciplines. It doesn't take hours, it doesn't cost a thing, but it requires intention, and over time, it rewires how you see the world and how you see yourself. You start becoming the person you're speaking into existence. That's why every day you wake up is not just another day. It's another chance to shape your life. So don't just wake up, rise with words that move you forward. Let your morning speak of who you are becoming, not just who you've been. What you say to yourself creates the lens through which you experience the world. Words are not just sounds, they're commands to your mind. When you speak negativity, you don't just hear it, you begin to believe it. And once belief takes root, your actions start to follow. The power of your words lies not only in how they make you feel, but in how they shape your identity. If every morning you tell yourself, "I'm tired," "I'm not good enough," or "today will be hard," then you've already surrendered before the day has even begun. Your words give permission to your reality. If you speak weakness, you live it. But if you speak strength, you start to embody it. There's a difference between reacting to the world and programming yourself for it. That's the role of positive declarations. Saying, "I am responsible for my life," "I choose to grow," or "I face challenges with confidence," isn't just motivational fluff. It's mental conditioning. The mind doesn't care if something is true. It believes what it hears repeatedly. So why not feed it something empowering? Repetition with belief builds identity, and identity drives behavior. Over time, your life becomes a reflection of the words you've told yourself consistently. Jim Rohn often said, "Stand guard at the door of your mind." That means don't let just anything in. Be selective, be intentional. Start each day by planting words of discipline, gratitude, and purpose. Because once those words take hold, your mindset changes. And when your mindset changes, so does your direction. This isn't magic, it's alignment. When your words, thoughts, and actions line up, progress is inevitable. Speak deliberately, speak consistently, and soon you'll look back and realize you became the very person you spoke into being. Taking responsibility for your life is the first step toward real transformation. It's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or even luck for where you are. But as long as you place your power outside yourself, you remain stuck. When you wake up each morning and declare, "I am responsible," you take control of your direction. You shift from being a passenger to being the driver. That single mindset change can move you from frustration to freedom. Because once you accept that your life is the result of your own decisions, then you also accept that new decisions can create a new future. This kind of ownership isn't always comfortable. It forces you to face the truth. It requires you to acknowledge that your habits, thoughts, and daily actions are shaping your results. But here's the beauty of it. If you created your current situation, then you also have the power to change it. And that's where freedom begins. Responsibility doesn't mean guilt. It means power, power to redirect, power to rebuild, power to improve. Jim Rohn said, "You must take personal responsibility. You cannot change the circumstances, the seasons, or the wind, but you can change yourself." Each morning is a new opportunity to remind yourself of that truth. You might not control everything that happens to you today, but you control how you respond, and your response is what determines the outcome. Start your day with that thought. Speak it into your mind, live it in your actions, and soon you'll stop waiting for life to change and start becoming the one who changes it. That's the mindset that builds winners. That's the voice that creates momentum. When you own your life, you own your future, and it starts the moment you say, "This is on me." Every day you're presented with a simple choice: repeat the past or grow into something new. The easy path is to do what's familiar, to live on autopilot, to replay yesterday's routines and excuses. But growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens in the quiet, intentional decision to stretch just a little more today than you did yesterday. When you wake up each morning and tell yourself, "Today, I choose growth," you begin to break the cycle of stagnation. You stop living by habit and start living by purpose. Growth is not always loud. It doesn't come with fireworks or applause. Sometimes it looks like reading a page instead of scrolling, choosing a workout over the couch, speaking with kindness when anger is easier, saying no to things that steal your time and yes to the things that build your future. These small decisions, made consistently, become the foundation of lasting change. And the truth is, every area of your life is either improving or declining. There is no neutral. You're either growing or decaying. That's why daily growth must be a conscious commitment. Jim Rohn taught that success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Growth is one of those disciplines. It's not something that just happens. It's something you decide to make happen. And that decision must be renewed every single morning, because the world will pull you back into the average. The only way to rise above it is to remind yourself daily, "I am not here to stay the same." That sentence becomes your compass. It becomes your drive. It transforms your days from routine to meaningful. When you choose growth each morning, life responds by opening doors that routine living would never lead you to. Waiting for motivation is one of the biggest traps that keeps people stuck. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes based on your mood, your environment, or how good your sleep was last night. But discipline shows up no matter how you feel. Discipline doesn't wait to be inspired. It moves with purpose, fueled by commitment rather than emotion. And that's why every morning Before the world starts pulling at you, you must declare to yourself, I don't wait for motivation. I create it. This simple shift in mindset gives you the edge most people never develop. When you rely on discipline instead of motivation, you don't need to feel excited to take action. You just need a decision. A clear, firm decision that says, I do what needs to be done, whether I feel like it or not. That is the mark of a high performer. It's the mindset that separates those who wish from those who achieve. Jim Rohn said, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Without that bridge, your dreams stay parked in your imagination. The morning is your proving ground. It's where you teach yourself that action comes first and feelings follow. The more you practice this, the stronger your mental muscle becomes. You begin to trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, confidence grows. Then, ironically, motivation starts to show up more often, because your mind sees you as someone who follows through. So don't wait for the right mood, the perfect moment, or some magical spark. Say the words that ignite action. Take the steps even when you'd rather wait, because the truth is, motivation is fleeting, but discipline, once built, becomes the engine that drives you straight to your goals. Every time you speak, you are giving your mind instructions. The words you use become the programming for your attitude, your focus, and even your behavior. Most people don't realize that affirmations are not just phrases. They are tools. When used with consistency and belief, they start to change how you think, how you feel, and how you act. If you wake up and say, I can't, your brain begins looking for reasons why you can't. But if you say, I am capable, suddenly your mind starts finding the strength to move forward. That's the power of intentional self-talk. Morning affirmations are one of the simplest yet most effective forms of mental reprogramming. By repeating empowering statements like I am responsible for my life, I choose discipline, or I face challenges with confidence, you are training your brain to operate from a place of strength rather than fear. It's not about lying to yourself, it's about focusing on the part of you that is capable, even when you don't feel it yet. And the more you repeat it, the more real it becomes. Jim Rohn often emphasized the importance of feeding your mind like you feed your body. You don't eat once and stay full forever. The same goes for mindset. You need daily nourishment. Positive affirmations are that nourishment. They reinforce your values, remind you of your direction, and reshape your identity. Over time, your internal dialogue changes, and so does the way you respond to life. Consistency is key. One day of affirmations won't change your life, but 100 days will start to, and 1,000 will transform you. So start speaking the words that build you. Say them every morning like you mean them. Because eventually, you won't just be saying them. You'll be living them.